basically what I wanted to show everybody today was the update to the update score page. So last week or the week before, we made a couple changes where it just looked a little bit different in terms of how you enter in the box score. This week, I believe we will be going ahead and update the site so that you can also update stats, individual stats, and update team stats as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get in there, and if you have any questions, please just shout them out. So in the event, you just click Update Score like you're used to doing. And, I'm just going to kind of go in and update the score like you may when you get calls in. Oops. So the end score is 32-34. I'm going to click Finalize Game, yes. At that point, sometimes you may go in or go out of that page. That does finalize the score. But below that, this is kind of the new section that we've added. It allows you from this page to very easily add your scoring summaries and your stats. So the scoring summaries are generally what's used for box score exports. So not everybody is using these, so I'm going to explain exactly what they do. When you export your scores, it'll give you the first, second, third, fourth quarter with the final score. But many of our customers like to have the scoring summaries by quarter as to who scored and how they scored. So this section gives you the ability to very easily add that information, where previously you either needed to manually enter it into the recap section or enter the individual stats. So that will eliminate both of those options if you were doing one or the other. So to add my first play, you can see from the selection I add the play type. So I'm just going to say it was a rush. This was in the first quarter. You don't have to necessarily enter the time, but you can if you have it. And then I can just quickly, I'm just tabbing over, and as I tab, then I can start to enter in the person's name, and you can see it automatically defaults to the letters that I inputted. So I'm going to say Ethan rushed for 21 yards. The extra point was a kick. It was successful. And I'm just going to start typing in that player's name. Now the system knows and recognizes these players' names because I've already entered in their rosters. If you don't have a roster already submitted, you can still do this. First of all, if you don't know the player's name, you can leave it blank. So I can just do pass. I wasn't sure who passed it, but I know that this player caught it. 32 yards. The kick was successful again by Luke Dillon. Click submit. In this case, I didn't know who passed it, so it just kind of said NA. You could always fill that in when it gets exported later. If I don't have the player in the system yet, I can just do pass, and I can click the plus sign, and you can enter in the roster number. Put my name in there, and this is for GM. So you don't necessarily have to type in the full team name. You can just type in the abbreviation, and then it verifies number 33 for General McLean. I click OK, and then it automatically populates that roster's player's name. So if I want to, say that I also got the extra point, then I can just start typing in the name, and it will default in there as well. So it remembers all the plays. You can do that for, each quarter as people call in with the scoring plays. And then, again, that gets exported in as part of your box scores. So once I click Save, this will automatically save it. This also, you can enter in, team stats at this part. If I save and close, you can also always go back in and go back out to update, the score or stats as needed. It's fairly simple, as you can see, and it's meant to really streamline your process. It does look maybe a little overwhelming at first, so that's why we wanted to have this webinar just to quickly walk you through this process. Are there any questions so far as to, what you can and cannot do with it? If you wanted to enter in individual players, you could do so from here as well. That will auto-populate the team stats by entering it into the player stats. This is very simple as you go across, you can just tab, and then it automatically, as you tab over, it will automatically add the next line for you to continue on. Again, for those of you that just kind of walked or got on the webinar, I went over the scoring summary, which allows you to enter in individual scoring plays so that you can export those for your box score exports. This will eliminate the need for you to enter that information into the recap manually and or you no longer have to necessarily use that separate update stack section in order to do that. Now, this is really for games that you are not using Game Tracker. So Game Tracker will automatically auto-populate all of these scoring plays for you. These are really only for games that you don't have somebody out there covering, or they're calling in the scores, calling in the scoring plays, whether it's the coach or the staff, and you can quickly enter it in. So again, I'm just going to do, run. This is now in the second quarter. As I start typing in a person's name, it auto-populates. I'm going to do failed kick this time. Let's do actually 2-point pass. And then this would be what would be exported for your box scores. Once I click Save and Close, just so you can see what a user sees, the game has been finalized, so it kind of just shows the team stats that I entered in just a few in there. I only entered in one individual stat listing there. And then it gives you kind of the main plays or scoring plays. So it's similar to kind of the play-by-play that you would see for Game Tracker, but it's only the scoring plays in this case. The plan is for us to enable this for all of the sites this week. And if you have any concerns, just kind of let us know, and we can, talk about disabling it for you for the week until you feel a little bit more comfortable.